Hey guys, time to get in on the action for the biggest moments in basketball with Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy sports app. Just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projections, place your entry, and win up to 100 times your money. Right now, Prize Picks will match your first deposit of up to $100. Just download the Prize Picks app and use the code GET100. That's code GET100 on Prize Picks for a first deposit match of up to $100. Prize Picks. Pick more. Pick less. It's that easy.
Okay, this is a 30-second commercial, and I'm going to throw a lot of numbers at you, but please stay with me. In just 15 minutes, you could save 15% or more on car insurance. This company has been offering great rates and great service for over 75 years, and anytime you need help, you can speak to one of their trained specialists 24/7. That company is Geico. Go to geico.com today. Sorry for all the numbers, and in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, I'm out of time.
Now, Podcast One brings you Spike's Car Radio. A downloadable cars and coffee, hosted by writer, comedian, and automotive enthusiast, Spike Feresten. Now, here's Spike.
Can we start, Will? Are we good? Are we recording here? Hi, everybody.
Hi, Will.
Welcome to Spike's Car Radio.
Wait, I said hi, Will, right after. Do that intro again.
No, it's all fine. It's just a soft start. There's no intro. That was Matt Farah, the Smoking Tire. We've got Zuckerman here. We're doing something a little differently today. We had a show scheduled with R.M. Sotheby's.
Oh, really? What happened?
The 70th anniversary auction. Their representative took ill.
Oh,
sure.
Took ill of you guys?
I'm ill every day. I'm showing up.
Viral infection is what the email said. And
Which one who was supposed to come on?
Ian Kelleher.
Oh, yeah.
What's the infection?
You know Ian?
Yeah.
Forget what his name is. I want to know what the infection is.
It's syphilis, allegedly. How do you know Ian?
Just from Pebble.
Just from Pebble Beach.
Pebble
Yeah.
Yeah.
So hopefully he'll feel better. He'll come back. He was going to tell us all about this 70th anniversary Porsche sale.
I think they got some fire happening at Pebble this year, right? Isn't there a Dakar 959? Isn't that that's the hot ticket this year? What else is going up, Zuckerman? What are you looking at?
You know,
let me pull up this thing.
I don't want to even know. I'm so carred up right now. I'm
carred up.
I'm carred up.
Carred up is like the car equivalent of being like coked up, right?
And beard up.
I'm so carred up. I'm so carred up.
So I thought rather than just book somebody, I'd have you guys on.
Is it time to have
and we'll just talk.
Can we talk about the upcoming Zuckerman clearance sale?
There's a lot of stuff that I think we can get to. I posted for the fans to ask questions. In an hour, we had over 100 questions, including Zuckerman's favorite stupid question, which was what?
Which was, what's your favorite topping on pizza, which betrays by the question itself. The question
cheese.
is an ignoramus.
Plain cheese is the
you
answer.
Eat pizza, and if you want something else, eat something else.
Yeah. I brought a Food Network.
Hamburger.
I brought a Food Network chef to my childhood pizza spot, like the spot that I went to growing up, because I felt it was the best pizza in the world. Sunrise Pizza, Rye, New York. I thought they had perfected it. This was it. And I wanted validation, and so I brought a Food Network chef, and he called it beyond reproach, and said there were maybe 5 pizzerias in Manhattan that could make pizza this good, and this is Westchester Pizza. So I got validated on
Would
my
that be
pizza.
a pizzeria or a pizza parlor, as we said back east?
Oof. It's called Sunrise Pizza. I think it would be a pizzeria.
I like parlors.
Well, because
the
other connotations.
The show's called Spike's Car Radio. Can we start talking about
Spike.
cars?
Whatever.
Shut up.
Anyway,
We were
I
talking
thought this
about
would be more fun. Rather than rebook the show quickly and put somebody else on, why not bring in the core crew? I know the people listening out there would prefer that it's just the three of us talking every week.
You know what?
So I'm giving this to you folks, wherever you are in your workshops or driving to work or in other countries. Here you are with the core group. You've got me, you got Zuckerman, you got Farah. We've got car news. We've got new Elon Musk news to talk about, which is good. But first, before we go
He's fun.
and get going, I need to just plug this thing I'm doing up in Monterey, August 25th for Pebble Beach Concours. So that's Saturday, August 25th at 1:30. Spike's Car Radio hits the Pebble Beach Concours, Zuckerman, with our very special guest, Michael Strahan.
Love that.
Hell yeah.
Go to pbclassiccarforum.com, pbclassiccarforum.com, 1:30 forum. Yes, it costs a little bit of money, but all the money goes to charity, and And there are just a few seats left. So please check that out. Come see us up there live if you're up in Monterey at Pebble Beach, instead of standing in the hot sun looking at stationary cars on a golf course, which is boring. Anyways, gentlemen, how is everyone? How is everyone
Have you guys
this morning?
hung out with Strahan before?
Yeah.
Is he awesome?
He's great.
He seems awesome.
He is a genuinely nice guy and just full of sunshine and charisma.
And he's got a very big car collection. He's always, which I didn't know about him.
He buys interesting stuff from
Yeah,
what
yeah.
I hear,
He
right?
loves all cars.
He loves all cars?
All cars.
He's got a very big hangar situation going. I want to take him down right to the beginning, like I do out there when I go up. I did it with Jerry. I want to hear the car story from the beginning to where he is now and what he's figured out, if anything.
He seems nice. I know he's bought a couple cars like on Bring a Trailer and
Yeah,
stuff, and he seems like a fun dude. He's a North Jersey guy, right?
He also, he was playing for the Giants for 13 straight years, right? He didn't play for any other NFL team, but the Giants.
Yeah, sure, okay.
He also, this is what I most admire about him. So we'll be walking around that Pebble Beach thing, and people want to talk to you and come up and take pictures and do that stuff. He's the best at it that I've ever seen.
Dealing with people?
Dealing with people. Puts his arms around old women, dances with them, has a longer conversation than most. He puts Seinfeld is like what? What would you say? 10-second per interaction?
Yes.
15-second?
Yes, you can tell he's vibrating.
Yeah.
I'll do whatever anybody wants, as I've seen you guys do as well. But this guy, I said, I even said to him, I go, I was telling my wife about you, about how you interact with the public, and she said that you should talk to him about getting lessons on how to do it because you're really bad at it.
I mean,
Spike.
to get to be like a morning show host, like that level of cheer. Is very difficult for
but he's
people
not
like us.
faking it. He loves
Oh, I know.
it.
That's what I'm saying. You have to have a natural thing. You know
My-
who else was good at it? John Sally.
Oh,
the
yeah.
basketball player, TV guy. He was like super great with everybody, especially considering how many people thought he was somebody else.
Who did they think he was?
I mean, when you're
Charlie Sheen,
bro, when you're like 7-foot black guy, you're clearly like and you're well dressed and you're clearly like a basketball player,
right?
But you go into a casino in Vegas and it's like these tourists, from wherever.
They love it.
They think you're Jordan. They think you're Barkley. They think you're. I mean, it's
So he's just signing
Anybody.
He puts up with
That's
it.
fun.
He's nice
Standing
about it.
for anyone.
Yeah.
My
Unbelievable.
favorite Strahan moment, you and I and Jerry were having breakfast, and Strahan walks up and says, "Jerry, I want you to know that I bought you breakfast." And Jerry says, "You did?" And Strahan said, "No, I just wanted to say that to you." It was so
He was
funny.
great. He's really funny. Well, anyway, if you want to see us, come up to you're up in Monterey. You want to do this. It's Saturday at 1:30, and you just go to pbclassiccarforum.com and register. And again, all of the money you will pay for this ticket goes to charity. The local charities up there. Anyway, I've got the RM Sotheby's sale up here since they're not here. If we talk about this, then they don't really have to come on the show. And I would guess this is going to be better anyways, us talking about these cars.
Yeah, it'll be without the PR spin.
So it's the 70th anniversary of Porsche, and they're having a 70th anniversary sale. Oh, look at that! It almost looks like a Nordstrom.
It looks like a Nordstrom
on the site.
Did they get the Peterman kettle? No.
And right up the top now they have a 1985 Porsche 959 prototype.
That looks cool, but here's the question: when you buy a
Oh,
prototype,
what are you buying?
I know.
What are you getting?
I don't know.
I
Do
don't
you
think-
know?
Not something you can really drive, probably.
Yeah, I mean,
No, you can drive a prototype as long as it has a title. But yeah, to me, that's the ultimate word attached to a Porsche. Owning a prototype is the greatest thing in the world.
But how do they drive, though? Do they drive like a fully developed 959?
I would
or are
guess
they wonky?
no. What you would do is you could probably. I read about this car, so this is like a late pre-production prototype.
Right.
Like, so apparently they were testing suspension settings and like the wing height and shit like that. I'm guessing if you wanted to drive this car, really, you could just send it to Canepa and go make it drive just like a
Put
normal
lead
one.
in the bumper so
With
it
that-
handles.
Is that what they do?
That's what they used to do in the early 911s.
Move that weight
Yeah,
forward.
right.
That's very
But
funny.
having a prototype is the ultimate Porsche prize.
Even Jerry bought that dumb Carrera GT one that was a buck that didn't even
Well,
drive.
no, that was different. Now that
You
was
get
a
gifted that.
concept model. That was not a prototype. The
It was
prototype,
a potted plant.
Yeah, that was a potted plant without an engine. You pulled off pieces, and there was foam core in
Yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah.
It was a make believe
Okay, good point. Yeah, so
Right,
that was
right.
more of a styling mock-up.
No,
than
prototypes are the ultimate stuff. Like if you had a 73 911 RS prototype,
I've driven some fucking prototypes, and some of them are fucked up.
not Porsches, not the Porsche stuff.
What Porsche prototype have
Because
you driven?
550, all sorts of crazy prototypes.
What was the difference in the 50s between a prototype and a production car?
Here's the
Fucking
deal.
Nothing.
Here's the deal.
Here, now,
In
the 80s,
value,
a big
now this is
difference.
a legit conversation. In value, the prototype is about 10 to 25%. Let me just throw those numbers out there.
Is there an
More valuable?
You know who'd be good to have for that math is the RM guy.
I could get Sam on the phone right now, and he could explain to you why the prototype is more valuable, because no one has the initial, the beginning, like the Gammon cars. Technically, those are prototypes.
I'm a prototype Zuckerman.
You're
Too weird. What is it? Too weird to live and too. What the fuck is? What's the Hunter Thompson line?
I like this 85 prototype, but I don't like the color, which seems to be this burgundy
what's the
metallic.
estimate?
It's not up there yet. They haven't thrown
It's
them.
got to
over
be
yet.
$1.5 million to $8 million, right? Maybe more.
959s are hot right now, particularly with Bruce doing his version
Bruce
of
Canepa.
bespoke.
Yeah.
Canepa be doing his bespoke, or Canepa, as he said.
Is Canepa the Connect one?
Yeah,
The
he's
correct one?
I
yes.
say Kane Epal.
No, what is the actual correct
Canepa.
pronunciation?
Canepa,
Oh, I'm sorry,
Canepa.
Bruce. If you're listening, I apologize.
Don't apologize to him.
Yeah, he's a
no
scoundrel.
apology.
Yeah,
He's printing money up there.
He's up there cackling right now, listening to this.
Let me
Wait, what? What
I
did you
didn't
just say?
nothing.
As we give consumer advice,
You can't
to
make
3
jokes
people.
like that, Zuckerman. Please.
I mean, yeah,
You'll have to bleep that last remark on Mr. Zuckerman's behalf.
How did you even know what I
investment
was
status.
saying?
I
by
know what
this-
it sounded like because I heard you say it out loud. Well, here, let's forget about that car and let's go right to this car because I think this one has the potential to be huge. The 1985 959 Paris Dakar
Yeah.
rally car.
Did you see that car at RM? Did you
These-
see it at their warehouse? It's been sitting there for like a year.
No, I don't go over there. Oh, yeah, I guess I
it's
did.
on Jefferson.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I did see that
It's
there.
awesome. It says there's a thing on the windshield that says "Original dirt, do not wash."
Oh, cut it out.
Swear to God, there's
Cut
a
it
sign.
out.
Yeah, there's a sign on the windshield.
Sure, straight from Africa with
Yeah.
Ebola and all that shit on it.
No, but with all that's going on with these,
Ebola dirt. Do
Ebola,
not
don't
wash.
touch.
with gloves.
Get your FEMA suit on.
is that what they say? It's that is.
Imagine that shit.
bullshit.
Here's a movie. Here's a movie. Famous Paris to Dakar race car unleashes some disease that it picked up
It's like it's got 30-year-old dirt
in
on
Northern
it.
California.
Right, it did say that.
So
You're so full of
stupid.
shit. That
It's
can't
so-
possibly be.
What? Original dirt?
Yeah.
It said that shit on it. Yeah.
How can it be original dirt?
They've
With the way
never
this
washed
car is
it.
getting moved around in trucks and everything
got-
else,
it's-
the
that
new
is
dirt is on
Providence
top of the original dirt.
Providence
This dirt
dirt.
is contaminated.
Here's what you have to do. You have to
I
wash
see,
up.
I see the dirt from the last 2
Fraud.
weeks on this original
Fraud.
dirt.
You've got to get
Fraud.
the new dirt off the original dirt is the problem.
We
not
need-
a fraud,
We need
but-
that lady from the church in Spain to clean clean the painting.
Can I get a gas chromatograph
Yeah.
reading of this
Are you
dirt?
talking about the lady who cleaned the face off the piece
Jesus.
of artwork and then magic markered the new face in the Jesus? That's
She's gonna
great.
clean this car.
That would be so funny. Wait, the Rothmans is in magic marker. Oh, well, we had to clean it off and the original decals came
Honestly,
off.
if I had the money to buy that thing, the first thing I'd do is take it home and go and fucking wash it. I'd wash it.
But you're building a safari car, right?
yeah.
So this
they
is
just finished my engine finally.
But this safari craze kind of feeds into this. Isn't this
That's the safari car. That's
the
the
ultimate
original.
safari car,
Hell
right?
yeah.
So doesn't
Yeah.
our feeling
And
about
didn't
these cars?
like Jackie Ickx drive this one? Someone very famous drove it.
I don't know. None of the descriptions are up, but
I think his name's on the car.
these cars were always kind of outlier weird cars because you're like, where the hell are you going to drive them? So if ever there was a moment to sell this car, it's right now.
Right now.
Yeah.
Right before the whole
And
safari
I think,
craze.
I think
goes
I think it's
under.
going to go $3 million.
Really?
It could, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Competition.
It was
vehicle.
offered to our little crew at what, like around 2?
At least.
And wasn't that a few years ago, 2 or 3 years
That was
ago?
a different version. That was not. I don't believe it was this
No,
exact
the
car.
Paris Dakar
There were more than one.
Oh
weren't
no!
there?
What? You know what? I kind of remember
I
this
thought
car.
there were 20 of them.
I have a whole history with this car. Actually, now it's all coming
There
back
were
to me.
more than one of them. There were a few.
No,
I think this one was
this
the
is
Jackie
the very
X
car. This is
and
the
that's
very
one.
car.
What I heard though, when our friend test drove that version.
No, that you and I are talking about different cars right now.
Boy.
I was separately.
This
I was
isn't
called.
inside
I was called
baseball at
about
all.
this car. I think last year or the year before.
Fucking look at me.
Inside
Guess who's not?
pictures.
Guess
I
who
didn't say
get
anything
called
about it. I mean,
it?
it was just like, first of all, I'm not going to write a check for $2 million. I don't have that sort of money. But it was just, it feels like it's finally come into its own.
You know who's going
It
to buy
might
it?
have been.
CJ. CJ's going to buy it.
You think so?
Yep, CJ's going to buy it.
Really?
Do you know he's
got
gonna
that
bid on
kind of
it?
loot?
I think he's going to buy it. Yeah. Why wouldn't he buy it? He should buy it.
You know what we should buy?
That's C.J. Wilson that
Yeah.
you're talking about.
Why don't we buy
But how
the
do you
real
know?
Paris Dakar car, the AMC Eagle, and drive that?
Was there a Paris to Dakar AMC
No,
Eagle?
but it's
if
like
there
this-
was,
We should
what
make-
is the most provenant worst car in
right,
the world?
that car.
Right?
That car sets
you
the
know,
whole four-wheel drive jacked up trend.
Yeah, the most prominent worst car in the world is what? A Land Rover Discovery Camel Trophy winner,
Right.
or the mini that cheated and won the
that's a good
'59 Monte
question.
Carlo
Right.
Rally. Like, there you go. That because they've raised someone somewhere has won a very important race
with a
in
really
shit
terrible car.
in a
Right.
factory issued shit box.
And there is
It's
some
happened.
guy at a cheap retirement home outside of Lansing, Michigan, saying, "I invented the four-wheel drive passenger vehicle."
Right.
And no one believes him. Shut up, old man. Your diaper's full.
There's a season winning Vega out there somewhere. Factory prepped Vega.
What kind of diaper was that? Was that a sex diaper or is it a regular diaper, Zuckerman?
It was Sumner Redstone had the sex diaper. He was still getting on.
What are you talking about?
You want some inside baseball? These are the types of conversations Sumner Redstone and I have. I mean, Zuckerman and I have. We talk about Sumner Redstone, the super old guy who owns Viacom.
Yeah.
and
And
still
having
has
young-
his sex drive. And we were like, well, wait, how
Isn't
does
he
that
like
work?
1,000 and has like a 20-year-old
And that's
chick?
what we're
He's
saying.
1,000 years
what
old.
kind of diaper do you wear?
He's incontinent, so what kind of diaper do you have to wear to have sex in? And
my sex diaper.
We came up with this idea for the sex diaper, which we've had many conversations over the months about what the sex diaper looks like.
You guys should do an entire sketch comedy show that's just libelous bits. It's like
It's not libelous in any way. This is information that's out there. It's the guy likes sex. We've got nothing against. He's super old at this point.
all right, maybe it doesn't meet the definition of libel, but
And he's most likely very incontinent and has to wear diapers. So at what point does the diaper come off for sex, or
you
does
don't
he...
think they just punch a
open.
hole through the front of it?
Well, that's a sex diaper. Yeah.
Cossines figured this problem
get
out
it.
centuries ago.
Yes.
Or maybe there's a U at the waistband, so it comes down a little low,
And
like a
it's- and
low-rise
it's got
jean.
graphics on it, like very nice buttocks.
Spike's
Printed
Car
on the
Radio, huh? Good thing
Yeah,
you got all
again,
those questions from
We're
our
off
audience.
on a long tangent if we're talking about sex diapers, but
Let me tell you something.
I
From
think there's an
someone who
opportunity
has
there.
taken questions from the audience, nothing is more likely to get you to ignore questions from the audience than to take questions from the audience and never get to them.
we will get to them, I promise you. We've got a little time today. I'm going to relax. Everybody's saying the show is too short, and you're always stopping it right when it's getting going. Well, all right, I'm going to
See,
keep
they
it
got
going.
a point.
Yeah, well, maybe. But, they like to
You
keep
gotta
it.
like warm up. You know, you gotta like let your funny.
I
kinda
understand,
come out.
but everybody.
You did
Bro,
3 hours,
We're
right?
busy.
yeah.
We're busy.
Dude, I saw the fucking Julia on Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee, and I was so happy. The Julia,
our car, the car
yeah,
we
the
were in.
Julia
Yeah,
that
yeah.
we took to Luftgegald and almost got thrown out in. I was so happy to see it well represented
Who is,
and running on all 4 cylinders
Yeah.
as well.
That's
What?
exactly.
Dude.
John Mulaney.
It was
John
Mulaney.
Mulaney. John
Yeah.
Mulaney. Oh, cool.
Great episode.
I blasted through that first season, or that the new season. Pretty good.
It's good stuff.
Yeah, pretty good.
Well,
I
we're
like
I'm
Chappelle.
also
Pretty
also
good,
going to be
Jerry.
up in Monterey. They're doing a Netflix retrospective with Jerry on this season. He's bringing up
cool.
clips. We're doing another thing.
As
Again,
long
all
as-
money
as
goes
long
to
as
charity.
they're still in business.
What's that?
With their stock price.
Netflix?
plummeting, Yes.
Why is their stock price?
I don't know.
plummeting?
I have no idea. I just read that this morning.
They had a little downturn
Did they?
based on some subscriber news, but that's not. They're going to be fine.
What are they-
They're giant. They're a giant
don't think-
thing. They're a giant
So is it
organism.
time
I
to
mean,
buy
look,
the stock?
Facebook took like a 1% hit after they found out they gave away like everyone's data to fucking Russia. I think they'll be
Facebook
fine.
is a very well-funded Russian
the
organization. It's got all that Russian money behind them for
Oh,
selling
the
ideas.
NRA is funded by Russia. Let's change that law so they don't have to declare that. 24 hours, they changed the law.
Yeah, well, that's fine.
Crazy.
Well, again, we're not talking about cars here.
What
we gotta get
advice
off
would
of
you
that.
give to Mo on the price of Netflix stock?
None. I don't get involved in any stocks whatsoever.
Short the market, Mo.
Short the market, Mo. No. I do
was
worry.
it Reuters? Did you see Reuters said that was it that vintage Porsche beat the stock market
I
over
did
the
see
last
that.
like 20 years?
And that's true. It's
Yeah.
been true for about 10 years. We're doing very well.
Yeah.
It's podcasts like this that are making you folks money.
I've been watching.
we're
Let's
pumping-
get back
we're
to
pumping
talking
the
about
market.
cars.
I've been watching
Hey,
Bring a Trailer recently, and the prices that 911s are going for just since I bought my 87.
Yes. You got
There's
a great
cars
deal.
going for like 30, 40,000 miles more than my car, non-original stuff, and for like 10, 15 grand more than I paid for my car.
What did you pay for your car?
36.5.
It's unreal. And it's an
Great
86 911?
87. It's a G50
87.
with a 3.2 and a G50.
How many
Great
miles?
color.
92,000.
92,000. There you
Yeah.
go, folks. There's a little barometer of the market, what the market really is at. But that's
Oh.
a screaming deal.
I got a screaming deal because it's
Right.
a weird color that didn't photograph well.
And it turns out in person, it's a beautiful color.
Yeah. And by the way, the Porsche tax applies because this is a car that I bought it, turned the key, drove it home, and didn't have to do anything to. I could have been driving it every day the last 6 months. And I had the engine, rebuild and hot rodded done, and so BBI, we did an exhaust and a light flywheel and we just I wasn't about more power, and it wasn't about fixing anything. It was about let's kind of motorsport up this engine a little bit, liven it up, make it a little revier, a little snappier, give it a good sound, and then just kind of give it a once-over. And anything it might need, just do that. I don't want
That's
to
great.
take the engine out. So, it makes like 220 wheel horsepower now out of a 3.2. Huh?
At the wheel.
At the wheels. Yeah, so it's like
At the
it's like,
wheel?
it's like
Where else
two-
would it be?
Like 2.7. Well, at the crank. There's a difference. So it's like.
At your crank, Zuckerman. How about some to Redstone's crank? let's do 20 minutes on that.
Rusty.
Let's get back.
But anyway, it's
to
running
RM
good now.
Sotheby's. It sounds awesome.
And it got sent to Lee Keen to be safaried.
And when are we going to see it?
We're fingers crossed. We're all hands on deck. It's being worked on. It's scheduled to be displayed in the Haggerty booth at Rensport.
If
Oh, wow.
if
So in the
if
fall.
a civilian
Fall.
was going to do the work that you've done,
Yeah.
what would that guy be in?
So
$18.
if you just go up to Lee Keen, who's building these cars, and say, I would like one, and it was going to be the same as my car, but you don't have a car. Lee's going to find you a
Right.
donor car. It's like 125 grand
All
to
in.
start from zero. Yeah.
All in.
All in. But there's a 2.5 year wait. So, and then the cars, like one car's gotten flipped, and it's been like 140 to a flipper. So, but I'm not selling my car. My car's gonna be fucking badass, dude. It's gonna be awesome.
I'm not selling.
and I'm really excited.
At the
I'm
crank.
super excited. It's gonna be
How's
so.
your crank?
It's gonna be a great Los Angeles car.
All right, let's
Really
get back
fun.
to talking about some of the more of these lots here.
Go ahead.
Let's talk Porsches. All right, we have.
What are we just doing?
Yeah, that was your Porsche. We've heard about that Porsche, and we're excited about it. But we're trying to cover for Ian Kelleher here
Oh, we are.
with his what?
Viral meningitis.
I'm sure he doesn't appreciate us. She just got a cold. He just had a cold. That's all.
What did you say, syphilis? I said. I think that was worse.
Ian, I don't know you, but I apologize for. We're just
You're
having fun.
syphilis.
That's what we do here. We're a comedy car show. All right, here's some other cars they have up there. They've got, of course, a 58 Speedster in the very unpopular color of red, but a beautiful little car. This car I love. 73 911 Carrera RSH 27.
Special car in
What's
H.
H?
How many?
Homologation.
Oh,
17 homologation cars.
So there were 17
yes.
cars.
They're very early. They would. There's a whole story about these cars had to meet all of the specific standards. They were taken out of the factory. They were taken to the weigh station, the city or the DMV in Hanover or wherever approved them. And so they are the lightest, the bestest, the whatever. They're unique. They're rare. I wouldn't say the lightest, but they're very rare, and they do have certain features that might not be on a Touring.
And they have an extra letter, an
And an
H
extra
added
letter.
there. I remember that
Yellow
one exactly was for sale on eBay 4 years ago, and we were all like, "What's the H? What is the RSH?"
And what's
How much
the
of a-
expected for that? Over $1 million?
It could. It's
I don't know.
that's
Is
the
it
tough-
really that much better than a regular RS? Is
Again,
it?
it's just bragging
It's not,
rights.
and it's not an RS lightweight, right?
You would argue that the difference in moniker and the rareness is enough.
No,
I would
these
argue
cars,
that
these
it's
cars
not that
have always
much better.
been stuck in a weird. In my opinion, have always been stuck in this middle zone between a regular RS and an RS lightweight.
I
Like
think-
the Ultimate 73 RS is the RS lightweight. Let's call it right.
Yeah.
And now you've got this RSH that isn't exactly either. Do you see what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's always been in that 911E category of
What is it?
head scratch, and then what
I
is it?
think people now know. I believe this car will go over $1 million. If it's a good car, I think I've heard that these cars are trading the 7 figures for an H now. They're desirable.
Really?
The market. That was, I think, Bucky Crevier's car was the yellow one, and
Bucky Crevier.
yeah, and
Great name. I
From
don't know who-
Crevier Classics?
and from
yeah.
Crevier BMW,
Okay.
and it was his car, and there was the way it was marketed. It languished, if you recall. Like everybody was like, "Why is that on
That's
eBay?
the
Why
yellow
is
one,
that?"
right.
So I think that car recently traded for a very large premium over what it was for sale for several years ago.
All right, good. We're going to take a quick break now. We'll come back with more Spike's Car Radio after this. When it comes to technology, the difference between consumer-grade and business-class PCs is just as marked up as it is for commercial flights, and for many, the upgrade is worthwhile. Here's the difference a business-class device can make for you. Many modern consumer-grade processors and mobile operating systems prioritize battery life over processing power. Business-class PCs often offer both better performance and longer battery life, allowing users to work faster and longer while on the road. Every HP Elite PC comes with HP Elite Premium support, providing 24/7, 365 dedicated service from US-based specialists who are dedicated solely to supporting HP Elite products. Business class devices help their users take advantage of their advanced features with free bundled software that is not available or requires an additional purchase on consumer-grade PCs. For example, HP Elite family products come with security software and features that protect at the data, identity, and device levels to help keep proprietary data safe. To create images that have the impact you want as a graphic designer, you need a laptop with high computing power that can handle multiple functions. And when you're searching for a good laptop for graphic design, you have every right to be picky. HP has a go-to choice for graphic designers for years because our powerful laptops combine serious performance with a streamlined user experience. We strive to serve the pros, the beginners, and everyone in between. HP Elite PCs are designed to pass MIL STD testing for and are tested for 115,000 hours to HP's own testing standards to help ensure durability. New HP EliteBook 700 series notebooks are also made with Corning Gorilla Glass and a magnesium alloy chassis that's 18 times stronger than plastic. And right now, get an extra 10% off select 8th generation Intel-powered HP PCs with Spike. That's me until September 17th. When you go to hp.com/Spike. That's hp.com/SPIKE. You're using promo code SPIKE. All right, I just want to take a moment to tell you about a new show we have here on Podcast One, No Excuse with John Taffer. Shut it down and listen to John, the award-winning hospitality legend, as he brings his straight talk and unapologetic approach to daily topics and current events. You don't want to miss his latest interview with Adam Carolla, so download No Excuses every Tuesday on Podcast One, podcastone.com, and Apple Podcasts. Also remember to rate and review.
You're listening to Spike's Car Radio.
All right, welcome back.
Still just says
having
Ralph.
fun here with Zuckerman, Matt Farah. We're talking Porsches. We're doing we're promoting Arm Sotheby's Monterey 2018 70th anniversary
Even though
of
they split
Porsche
us up.
sale. They didn't steer. That poor Ian just got sick. He felt bad. He was going to send someone as a replacement. I thought we could do a better job, and here we are. We're going to get to some listener questions, too. I promise you there were a lot of them. But let's just talk about a couple more cars here, because now I'm looking.
We talk about the Gooding preview.
Look at this. Now Zuckerman, the roof folks have reached out to me. I told you this, right? Alwa Roof, the son of the original Roof, and his new he's got a new Yellowbird CTR. He's going to let us drive it.
Wow. The Porsche that's not a Porsche.
The Porsche that's not a Porsche.
Yeah, right. Looks like a 911, is not a 911.
Has its own VIN number.
Well, the new thing that they've got, this new Yellowbird, doesn't even start with a 911 tub anymore.
What does it start with?
Their own tub.
Oh, so they've created their own.
They've created their a carbon tubbed vehicle. It's not based on any 911. It's fucking crazy. Sam Smith just went to Germany to drive it and said it was completely
bananas. Well, guess what? We're going to drive it right here in Beverly Hills, right on the street outside this studio.
I bet.
I'm having them bring it.
I bet. Yeah, Maple Drive is the perfect place to test a carbon-tubbed 911.
When you are busy like Zuckerman and I, it is the perfect place. Yes. We're going to go up and down at 15 miles an hour, and we're going to love our lives. Anyway, forget about that. That's going to be a whole episode of the show. We're going to have them in here. We're going to drive the car. Then we're going to do the podcast. Here they have at the sale this 1998 Roof Turbo R Limited. Look at this car.
It is so cool
because
it's a mega sleeper. So that car, do you know about this thing?
It's an Irish green, it looks like.
The entire body has been taken off and replaced in carbon fiber. It's a fully carbon fibered bodied 911. 993.
Okay. So what does it weigh?
Like nothing.
Let me give you. I'll throw some stats.
600 horsepower turbo.
They're one of 7 built, offered by the original owner. Fewer than 140 miles recorded. So this guy didn't even drive the car.
What does that say? What does that say about the usability of the car?
That gets me angry. Astonishing performance and handling.
He did 140
think because I never drove it. Why did that guy? Well, I guess it was an investment for him. Wow. Sure. Underneath, the Turbo R Limited fitted with highly modified suspension with GT2 rear bushing, stiffer engine cradle components, huge disc brakes, 15-inch front ventilated cross-drilled 6-piston calipers.
15-inch brakes in 98 is heavy. Yeah. That's a serious, serious bit of hardware.
The Turbo R Limited was created to be Roof's halo car, in quotes, and it's the ultimate air-cooled automobile.
Does it actually say weight or power on there? I think it's 600 horsepower. I can't recall the weight.
408 horsepower.
Oh, is that all?
That's it?
No, it's based on the turbo with 408 horsepower. Yeah. Let's see. There's a lot of information about Roof. It's always these auction ads. They go into a lot of just history about cars. But you know what I mean? They write a lot about the model, and not about the example.
About the specific example,
because they can't cut and paste anything about the example.
That's why I like reading Sports Car Market. Sports Car Market is all about the specific example. I like that magazine.
So they're hyping that the car only has 140 miles. But look, I'm sorry.
Think about what you're going to have to do to get it rolling.
You're going to have to do a lot of work to that car. 620 horsepower.
There you go.
553 foot-pounds of torque.
And if you unleash that horsepower, all the seals will blow at once.
It's horsepower to weight ratio.
Matter meets antimatter.
Boy, here this is good. Its horsepower to weight ratio of 4.8 is better than that of Porsche's famed Carrera GT.
4.8 pounds per horsepower, right?
Yeah.
So then you have to multiply. Right,
you're gonna geek out on us
multiply
right now.
The horsepower by 620
under 3,000
times what? 4.8.
Yeah, I'm already bored.
It's 2,976 pounds. Yeah, it's just under 3,000 for an all-wheel drive turbo 911. That's light.
I would buy this car. Look at the interior.
I would buy the color.
The interior looks
great.
These cars. Steering wheel is the same steering wheel in my Aston Martin Vanquish. Like everyone in the 90s and early 2000s used that same steering wheel. I don't know what the supplier was, but everybody was on it.
He was rubbing his hands. I'm making a killing.
Don't you?
Oh, damn. Airbags.
Don't you feel like we are in like a roof appreciation era all of a sudden? That suddenly these cars that are different.
And aisle roof.
It
could be the
suddenly
singer
accepted.
that people are looking at these things coming out today and saying, whoa, there were guys in period who had relationships with the factory. Roof was very close with the factory.
Old AMGs, hammers are through the roof.
Right.
If you can get a hammer, that's what you should get.
I
next,
think
Zuckerman,
it's
is a hammer.
more that we've had Cars and Coffee for 10 years, right? We've seen a lot of these basic models, and the stuff that's getting attention is this weird stuff, this modified stuff, the one-of-a-kind
80s,
stuff.
90s nostalgia, perhaps?
And I find that I'm desiring roof cars now.
Because
I want
a
one.
roof car is a tuner car that's also a factory car. You know, you kind of
Right,
get
right.
the best of both worlds with a car like that. It's not.
And with a history. Now we're on a
Yeah, I
second
mean, you can
generation
find
of
the
roof
same
building.
similar parallels with like Celine Mustangs from the
Mm-hmm.
80s. You know what I mean? Celine Mustangs are getting some appreciation right now, even though, you know, the company is like, who the hell knows what they're doing right now. But, you know, an Andile AMG. There's, I'm trying to think of vintage.
Tuners.
Even at, you know, stuff like at
Brabus.
Radwood, you know what I'm starting to
Yeah.
see is like still in stuff from the 90s and like and shit like that. There's a
Brabus.
resurgence in, I think, period tuned.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. All right, let's get to some questions. Everybody wants to hear their question answered. Currently, there are too many for me to get everybody in, but there's some good questions here already. Can you toss us a little alpha talk, says Dodd Mac. We already did.
Just did.
We
That
just
was-
did. It's done.
The
There you
Julia
go.
appeared on Cars and Coffee, and it didn't break down.
Yeah,
Or,
and we like them. Here's a good question from Chicago and CH. Where's CH? Switzerland? Is that the
Chicago, where?
CH?
Switzerland. Yeah,
Switzerland. Okay, so Spike and guys, I'm an American living in Europe. What's the one car you would buy here that's not available in the United States?
Wow,
I
you
like
would
that.
know that.
Ooh.
Audi RS6 Avant or the Mercedes C63 wagon.
Would that be
In Europe, it's all about fast wagons.
Right.
Yeah.
And
I got
that would
Shooting brakes.
I
would
got
that be fun?
Estate
Oh
wagons.
my dude, yeah, the RS6 Avant is so fast, and I've gotten. You see them on the autobahn sometimes, where you'll be going like 100, 110 in whatever you're driving, you know, cruising, and you just see the little check mark headlights, you know, get bigger and then just like, you know, just like 200 miles an hour. People drive these things 200 miles an hour every
Yeah,
single
that's
day on the
cool.
way to work.
I
And,
like it.
The wagons are where it's at.
Here's a question: does Jerry still wear those big, ugly-ass Nike shoes with a suit? Yes, he
yes,
does. All right,
yes.
that was easy.
I really, you know, can we talk about on Comedians and Cars Getting Coffee? There was a real prominence to the watches on this season. Ellen had the Paul Newman
It's
going
begun.
on. And
Do you know
Jerry's
how long
showing
I've
off
had to
the
work on
Breitlings.
Jerry? How long I had
Yeah.
to work on him? How long? How many years? I'm talking about probably 10 to 15 years of me
Yeah.
working on him to get his watch game going.
His
All he
Breitlings,
had
he's
was
got the nice ones.
he had a Breitling, and he goes, I bought a really nice watch. It was a Peugeot or something, and I just looked at him. I go, what is wrong with you? Let me tell you about Hoyer. I talked him into the Sifford Hoyer early on, and he finally
Now
got
you
it.
need to talk him out of it so I can.
Now, no, I'm talking about the old one, the
Oh,
original
yeah.
one. Yeah, now he's got his watch game on,
Vic Elford Rolex, which he cried about.
which he cried about. Now he's got a great little collection, and he's.
I like the, and
I
some of
wouldn't
the-
say he's actually into it.
Some
He
of the
likes that
guests have
we're
some
into
cool
it.
watches,
Yeah.
too. Ellen's Paul
Ellen-
Newman is fire. She
Ellen-
has some taste.
I put in the Seacrest category. Her Ellen and Seacrest, yeah, they buy. They have some
Adam
nice watches.
Levine and John Mayer.
Yeah, yeah.
As well.
John Mayer's
heavy
legit.
hitter. Yeah,
he's a heavy hitter. So, you ever get him in a room, he will talk circles around you about watches. He's a
I
good
would
guy
like
for your.
to. Can you make an intro? I'd love to have him on the Watch Show.
Yeah, after he does this show.
Okay.
I've been trying to get him to come on this show.
How was John Taffer? You did
I
John
haven't-
Taffer's show.
I
didn't
did his show, yeah.
you? Was it cool?
I did it over Skype. I didn't get to meet him, but I liked him a lot. It's
I
the bar
love his
rescue
vibe.
guy.
I love his.
He's great. No,
He's the
he-
bar rescue guy?
Yeah, the
Yeah,
bar
yeah.
rescue. He seems.
He's
Oh, I
excellent.
love him. He's a lunatic.
He's got a
I like his
podcast
hair,
here at
too.
Podcast One, and I did his podcast the other day. I think he's coming on ours, isn't he, Will?
Is he?
John Taffer's
If
coming.
he is, can
you
I
want to
sit
do that
in?
show?
I'm such a fan.
Zuckerman
Seriously.
would love the break.
I'm a huge fan of John Taffer.
He's got to make the money. All right, let's go to some other questions here. You know, a lot of people have been wanting us to talk about BMWs, Zuckerman. I don't even have to look at the question. And we were talking about them a moment ago. Zuckerman, what did you drive here?
I drove the BMW M3.
E30 M3. Don't sell yourself short, Zuckerman.
Yeah.
The E30 M3 that I parked next to downstairs is so pretty and so mint. I actually leaned down when I pulled up next to it and checked the tires to make sure that it had modern tires on it because it was so clean. It looked like it had come out of like a museum. And then I noticed he left the windows down in the garage.
We always do that.
Yeah.
Who's stealing what?
I don't know. I
by
felt
the way,
confident
go
enough.
ahead.
I left my
Go
top
ahead.
down right next to your car. But we were discussing before we started recording the merits of 80s BMWs and which one you should buy. And Paul said correctly that the E30 BMW is not a good low-speed car.
Not a traffic car, but
No.
when you get it into the zone, as you pointed out, if you're in tight corners and you're in third, even second, third, fourth at 4,000 plus RPMs, that thing handles.
It's really good.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah, in the city in the lower speed stuff, the older M5 is the better car. But if you're already like in third, fourth gear, the E30 M3 is
Will,
so nice.
we've got time here, right? We have this booked 9 to 11. Okay, good.
I've got a 10:30 appointment at the office.
We'll be out of here by 10:30, Zuckerman. But
Okay.
now listen. You just let down
I
the
gotta make
fans.
some money,
I gotta make
okay?
some-
I gotta make
let
the
down
money.
the fans.
This show doesn't make any fucking money.
Yeah.
Well, it does actually. But,
Isn't it crazy how well BMW
But wait.
handles?
I just
from
want
the
to say
80s?
this about Zuckerman. This is what I like about Zuckerman. Okay, Zuckerman finds these guys. Now he's found this dealer in where? Ohio.
Ohio.
And what's the name of the
His
place
name
now?
is Eric Keller from Enthusiast Auto Group.
Enthusiast
Oh,
Auto
yeah,
Group.
the BMW.
Yes.
Now let me
guys. Yeah,
finish.
yeah.
Let me finish. He's got this site full of these primo BMWs,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, yeah.
And they get
Buy
their
high, sell higher.
they
Right.
get their talents into Zuckerman. Right, and he orders cars like Chinese food at night. He just every week they've been BMWs just showing up. Right, so when you said that BMWs down in the parking garage, I was like, which one? How many have you bought already? Like it's been 4 or 5, right?
Okay. I have. let's be specific.
4 or 5. But you get on these. Here's what. Let me finish because this is what I find interesting about it. You get on these kind of exchange programs, which you're buying cars, but you get in good with this dealer, and you're handing over cars, you're buying them, you're handing them back, you're getting your
Isn't
money
that how
back.
it
It's a
works?
nice
That's
little
like how it
program.
works.
It is, and when
But for the listeners, I don't think people know that's how it works. Usually, you buy a car, and that's the last you see
Okay.
of the guy.
So
Explain this
for
system.
example,
Explain this system.
Here's the system. Eric is really great. He sources really good cars, and so when he knows a car is good, and then he knows you take care of the cars, he is happy to get that car back because it's been vetted, it's been
Cared for.
It's a quality car with a known history, and so he wants that car back. That's another sellable piece for him, and it's good business.
And now
for
the
him.
great Zuckerman has owned it, and it's
It
been
makes-
taken
this-
care of.
That math makes 100%
Yeah,
sense.
it does
to
make
me.
sense. You're right.
100%.
And of course, it helps that the
'Cause
BMW market is rising. It has been undervalued to a certain extent in relation to Porsches, and so there is a lot of room. And this will sound a little bit, I don't know how this sounds, but coming from the Porsche world to go into the BMW world in many ways is so much less expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's easier for me, having been used to what I have to pay for, say, a 58 Speedster to go into BMWs is
The
not.
good news is, the great BMWs, we're talking about 70s and 80s, not 50s.
Right.
So, I mean, unless you're talking about the odd, like, 328, but that's not really what we're talking
Right.
about. We're talking about early M cars.
Right.
And,
And
so,
so
when you don't have to go that far back, and they did make a bunch of them at the time, it's relative. If you're going
what the difference is between Porsches and BMWs, BMW drivers drove the shit out of their cars. It was their daily driver and their sports car. So it's not unusual to see a car with 100,000 miles being a collector car.
Yeah.
That kind of blows me away.
That's interesting. Yeah, the E30 M3s especially, you see them on Bring a Trailer all the time, where they've got 150K, 200K,
Right.
and they're still $30,000-$40,000 cars.
Right, and this one only had 8,000 miles.
That's
I
crazy.
still get a little underwhelmed in those cars. I mean, I like them, but I don't ever think here's what I honestly feel when I get into them. And I don't have a lot of experience with BMW, but when I get in one of those BMWs of yours, I go, I wish I was 25 again, living in Hollywood and single, because I think it would hit the sweet spot when I was 25.
What's wrong with that?
But not right now.
They're not.
But
they're
not right
just
now.
not great in the city. Those 80s BMWs, all of them. You need to be up in the mountains.
Right.
You're up on Angeles Crest, and that E30 M3 makes a lot of sense.
Right.
But to just drive one around, you actually, we said this before you came in. The 325 IS feels like at under 60 miles an hour, the 325 IS feels like a much nicer car. You get that beautiful 6-cylinder sound instead of the 4. The 4-cylinder, when it's not on cam, doesn't really sound all that like anything. It's just a whatever engine until you really wind the snot out of it. The 6-cylinder is really nice and slick, and so a 325 IS is actually a better driving experience.
I think you have to take that M3 and really drive it somewhere where you have an opportunity to get in the sweet spot.
He can bring it out.
Maybe.
We drive 911s next week.
I like the 1M. I like that car. I had fun in that car.
That's a ferocious beast.
It's a ferocious beast. It's small. It's funny. I enjoyed that. All right, let's get to some more. A lot of folks, Matt, because you're here, want to talk about the Supra.
The new
about
Supra?
this new Supra.
Uh-huh.
Take our Porsche listeners. Tell us what the hell's going on with this new Toyota Supra. It's Toyota's bring back the Supra?
The Supra name, yeah.
The Supra name.
And it's co-developed with BMW.
And this is a 2019 model, 2020. When are we seeing this car?
I don't know. This is one of these really drawn-out launches where they drag the camo cars around for like 4 years. And, I think...
I read that they were trying to jump into Porsche's Cayman sales with this car.
I mean, maybe. Do you think well... Okay, I think now's a good time to do that because people don't like the 4-cylinder, even though I think the 4-cylinder is awesome. So this is co-developed with BMW. So there's going to be it's front engine, rear drive, right? There's going to be a 4-cylinder and there's going to be a 6-cylinder,
right?
The 6-cylinder is going to be, I assume, developed by BMW, and the 4-cylinder also I think is developed by BMW and sort of similar to the 240 engine. I think it's like 275 horsepower and then 350 horsepower, right? They've said so far the only gearbox is an automatic, which
right?
I'm not super stoked.
They're not sure they're going to offer a manual,
and they've also I'm not particularly optimistic of the styling based on what I've seen so far. It's not.
What about the car they had up at Goodwood? What do you think of the styling of that car?
When you present a car like that and cover it in stupid camo,
dazzle.
You're not entirely proud of how it looks underneath, let me just say.
You think so?
I think that front
That's pretty interesting dazzle.
That front end
I mean,
looks
it's
like
a lot
those
of
fake Ferrari 430 noses people put on C5
Well,
Corvettes.
then why even bring it there?
Can't unsee that once I say it.
Why bring that car to Goodwood?
Because they have to. This is their shtick. Lexus did it with the LFA, and they're gonna do this. And I will say, I live in Venice, and my house is right on BMW's fuel economy route, and so I've seen the BMW version of this car with the camo driving around, and it's camoed, but based on camo versus camo, the BMW looks like the better looking car to me. So, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, Toyota making enthusiast cars, even if they're not all the way,
right?
Is
It's
good.
a good thing.
The fucking Camry's
Better than
fast. The new Camry's fast. Actually fast.
Right. Better than the Prius. That's all I want. Zagato update? No, we don't want to update the Zagato. It's coming soon.
Never.
It's coming soon, and it's exciting. I did see one. I think we talked about that, right? I saw one built, number 6 car built when I was in Milano, and it's amazing. Share a bad Plan Z experience. And who has better taste, Spike or Zuckerman? I would say our tastes are pretty much the same at this point. I used to have much better taste than Zuckerman. He was driving in 50s Corvettes and E-Types, and now Zuckerman is up to speed. He has great taste. But I think a bad Plan Z experience with me, we have not had that. But you have Plan Zs with other friends, and I'm sure you've had a bad... Have you had a bad Plan Z experience with other people? Are very interested in this because they want to pair up and buy cars together. So where does it go wrong, Zuckerman?
You just have to really be close with your friends. They have to have similar views on taste, maintenance, taking care of.
That's where it gets hung up, right? Taking care of the car.
So
right?
Sometimes I have a Plan Z with an eccentric friend who doesn't believe that a very valuable car should be parked indoors. And in fact,
he perhaps believes it should be parked under a tree.
A birdshit tree.
A birdshit tree for a week.
It looks like they've taken a bucket, a 5-gallon bucket of bird shit and thrown all over the car.
And thinks that's cool.
But Now, if I was younger,
Would this be a 4-liter Porsche with a wing,
like,
by any
yes,
chance?
perhaps.
A 4.0?
A 4.0.
okay.
But I'm old enough now to look at the bright side of my relationship with him and not concentrate on what makes me want to hit him.
Serenity now.
Yeah, serenity now.
What do you guys think
so
about the Porsche
funny.
travel experience? Is it worth it? I've never done that. That's
What
the
is
delivery
that?
thing. I don't think it could go wrong. That's where
European delivery?
European
Yeah, it's
delivery.
gonna be great.
How can that go wrong?
I mean, the
You're gonna
only
have a wonderful
bad thing
time.
about do you do Stuttgart or Frankfurt? Where do you?
Stuttgart.
It's Stuttgart, right?
You want to be in Stuttgart?
I love questions like this. Can you get insurance?
No, I'm just. Is that where European delivery happens?
Yes,
In
I believe.
Stuttgart,
Yes,
right?
that's the factory. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's not much to see there in Stuttgart. It's
The black
No.
farthest.
It's not. It's not what I would call. No, you want to get out of there.
Oh, Zuckerman, please. He's on fire
the
today with
Nürburgring.
his horrible remarks.
You want to go straight to the Nürburgring.
Can you get insurance for a singer? I don't know.
Yes,
Ask your insurance
of course.
agent.
Of course you can. You
Of
can
course
buy
you can.
insurance for anything.
Why are you asking me that
Anything.
question?
Anything. It's
Speaking of
just
insurance, I think for my car park, my car collector's car garage, West Side Collector Car Storage that I'm building in West LA, I think Haggerty's gonna underwrite it, which I'm super excited about.
Really?
They're going to underwrite what?
Do they have to have a sign in there?
A banner? I'll
Yes.
give him a banner. I told him for they declined, but I told him for $2 million I'll call it the
Naming
Haggerty.
rights.
I said naming rights. I said
The
for $2
Haggerty
million, I'll
Stadium.
call it the Haggerty Garage. Haggerty Stadium. Haggerty Stadium
It's
is
funny.
really funny, actually.
Roche Iteles wants to know, Spike, why don't you drive a Cayenne? You've got all these Rovers,
Yeah.
but have
Yeah.
so much love for Porsches. It confuses me, my man.
My dad has a Cayenne. It ain't that great.
I've
Rovers
explained.
are better
I've
SUVs.
explained this before on the podcast, and it's pretty simple. I don't want my SUV to remind me of the sports cars I'm not driving.
That's a very good position, Spike.
I want.
like that.
I've always loved Land Rovers. I'm from New England. I like the whole beach off-road aspect of them, and I want to have a different experience when I'm not in them. I don't want to be thinking about something that doesn't drive as nicely
You want something
as my
Cotty,
GT3.
Cape
And
Cod.
can I also? So my dad has a Cayenne Turbo.
You hate it, don't you? You hate.
Cotty? I'm not.
You
'cause
hate
I'm not
that
a New
preppy
Englander.
kind of New
Yes,
Englandy
because
thing,
I was from
right?
Long Island. We were dirtbags listening to
resentful.
Zeppelin.
You say dog like that, dog.
Yeah,
That's
you
what my
and your-
cousins from Long Island used to say, and we would
Dog,
laugh.
You and your Cotty.
In your
Peep
cars.
Cod,
Yeah.
Cape Cod.
But we're very similar, the Massachusetts
Yes.
people and the Long Island people.
course, we
right?
are.
We're bottom of the barrel.
But they're the
Dirtbags.
opposite. The
Citizen
opposite
dirtbags.
ends of them.
16-year-old standing in front of the deli. Hey, man, can you buy us beer?
Yeah, exactly. We used to do the same thing. Miller Lights.
My favorite story is when the guy came out with our six-pack of Michelob and said, "Thanks for the beers, dick boys." We're like, "Fuck you, man."
Big boy.
He called you Dick Boys?
Yes.
Great. I love that guy.
Yeah,
That
he was
guy's
great.
he's dead
That is-
He
now.
looks cool. We're gonna ask him.
That's gonna be you.
Yeah.
How badly do you want to do that to a kid?
Yeah, of course.
So badly.
Dick
All right,
boy.
here's a good question. Not really a good question, but it's an interesting conversation, I think, because it comes down to something that's going on with this generation of idiot person. And I was just talking about this last night with my wife, about how this generation seems to have taken words, drugs, and changed things to make it microdosing, make it more
Palatable.
Right. Prostitution is now paid dating. It's a very different thing. And with respect to Porsches,
Microdose. Can I defend microdose?
no, you can't.
You cannot.
That
I
just
wanna-
means
I wanna
doing
segue-
less drugs.
Sure,
But it's still
it
doing
always
drugs.
leads
Yeah,
to
it is.
more.
No
It's
one
still
says
doing
it's
drugs.
not.
It's
No
still
one
doing
says
prostitution, but it's wordplay. All right,
Okay,
I'm a writer. I get caught up in
autopilot.
wordplay.
And soon it's going to be macrodosing.
So this fella wants to know the
what we've
thoughts
been doing.
Yes.
on tribute Porsches. And this is wordplay. There are about 10 different words we could describe this car, right?
Yeah.
The tribute is one.
Recreation.
The recreation, the replica,
hot rod.
the hot rod, the R group car. What is the best? And they seem to right now. These cars seem to be doing really well. So you've got Rod Emery's cars. Suddenly these R group, these outlaw cars, selling for big numbers. They're welcomed at all the car shows. All of a sudden, where 10 to 15 years ago, 20 years ago, they had to park in different
That's
lots.
why they were
Keep
called
that car
outlaws.
away from us. So now, what is the right word to call this car if you want to sell it and buy it and build it? Because I don't think tribute
Just
A tribute.
It's a resto mod. I mean, that's a
I
resto
don't
mod.
know. I always think
there's
with
another
resto
one.
mod, I think of bad wheels.
It's not a
Singer,
bad.
a singer is a resto mod, right? It's a restored, modified.
taken to a very extreme.
Here's the
level.
segment
I would say
like.
I would say outlaw is probably your number one choice of word. I think tribute is a cop
To
out.
me,
It's
outlaw,
a mess.
well, here's
It's,
what I,
it's a
guy
shade
who
above
takes-
replica.
A guy who took a 72T and built the engine out to RS spec, 2.7 spec, and drove it like it was a period car that had a slightly bigger bore on the engine.
Right.
I always like that stuff.
Right.
But I don't like going beyond what they.
But
really
this
what
is
they
a
had in
conversation
period.
about words. Which is the most valuable
Outlaw,
word?
Outlaw. works.
Outlaw.
Outlaw.
works.
We like
Right?
outlaws. I want to
Yeah.
be Jesse James, Billy the Kid.
Tribute is
No,
a
tribute's a negative word. Outlaw is a positive.
tribute
word.
is also a porn category.
I'm sorry.
Is it?
Yeah,
Porn
I cannot
category.
believe I'm telling you
it
guys
tribute?
this.
Okay,
Do
come
you
on,
know what
have at it.
Do you know what
Spill
a
the
tribute
beans.
is?
No.
Is
You
that
guys
like,
haven't been in enough comedy
Okay.
writing rooms.
Is that not where it's like a word play on a movie, like where you
a
take a
tribute?
movie title?
I believe, and I
Intercourse
can't.
with the vampire.
What I've been told is a tribute is when you
Victoria's
send a
Secret.
picture. You send a picture of your wife, girlfriend, or loved one, and some other gentleman tributes on top of it.
Cut it out.
I've never heard
You're
that.
disgusting.
and
Have
then
you
takes
done
a
that?
picture
Yeah.
Have you
of
done
the
that?
tribute and sends it back to another fellow.
Oh, that's
No,
very funny.
nor have I done a Dirty
many
Sanchez.
points- how many points
These are
do you
just
get?
Dirty Blumpkin.
whatever that, a Dirty Pumpkin. Will, have you ever heard of the tribute?
Well, no.
No
Is
one
there
has.
is there a,
This is
a
something you're
tributary
into.
scorecard I can
look,
download somewhere?
Have
on
you
the
heard of a
internet?
tribute? Porsche tribute? No, the guys in the booth now
I'm
are smiling.
horrified.
Everybody's.
I'm sickened.
I can't believe you, of all people, have
No,
not heard about
I'm
this.
horrified at you.
I haven't heard
This
of it
is-
either.
I mean, this is in the same
can't believe you're
category of the
into it.
Dirty Sanchez conversation.
Shoe
No, I mean,
sniffer.
what? I'm going to go
Spikes, shoe
have 8x10s
sniffer.
printed up, and then I have to mail it.
Well,
and
it's
then,
clearly from a film. It's from the era of film, isn't it? It's not from the era of email.
I don't know. Let's get back.
Otherwise,
You'd wreck
otherwise
your
what do you
computer
do?
or phone.
Screen cap your iPad. It doesn't really work.
So gross.
Well,
sniffer.
that's why you shouldn't call your car a tribute, right?
Fair, totally. Fair.
Okay, I'm sold.
Okay, what is the answer? This is some car buying advice. All right, you ready? This is car matchmaker stuff, gentlemen. What is the answer when Miata is not the answer because you need back seats for the kids, you need something contemporary, not expensive and exotic, fun, with a stick shift, not a Mustang, not a Camaro.
Begins with a B.
Bonus for being a convertible. Very confusing set of parameters given to us by Chaz Wasm.
Modern convertible. I think the answer is used 3 Series
Right.
of
Early
whatever
aughts.
With a
at
manual
whatever your-
transmission.
at whatever
early
your
aughts. There you
price
go.
point
That's
is.
great.
E46.
Yeah, use a used, especially an E46 manual E46 M3 convertible
Yeah, hot.
is seriously undervalued
Yes.
for how much car you're getting.
Chaz Wasm asked that question.
The
He-
Chaz
maintenance-
Wussum?
The
He
maintenance
is
costs
also
are
a porn
high.
category.
The maintenance costs can be high on them, but especially compared to the coupes, like
good
same
advice.
exact car, but cut the roof off and make it a convertible is like a minus 5,000 on the resale. So you can buy up. Also, 911 convertibles. Just saying, 911 convertibles are cheap.
Well, he's saying
Because
that
people don't want
really.
them. 911
Well, they're not
convertibles are
Miata cheap. They're not Miata.
They're not
cheap.
Miata cheap, no. But you could probably get a 911 convertible for a lot less than the equivalent coupe, and that might get you into a solid G-body
You
car.
can get an early 997 Cabriolet for in the 50s.
Okay, it's still not
But
Miata.
I know it's not
I
making
can buy
money.
three
way
Miatas
less.
for that.
I think way less.
That's a relatively low mileage, very
I
clean
think you can get a
version.
medium mileage early 997 with a stick for $30,000.
You might be right.
Yeah, but that's more than Miata. But you can. All right.
Here's a rich guy question.
My immediate answer is E46.
I think that's a good
BMW.
answer. I like that. Here's a rich guy because when you go back in the BMWs, you can find something that's pretty affordable if you go
Yeah,
back
and
far
if
enough.
the maintenance has been done, the stupid water pump and shit like that, the overall package is pretty stout.
you can download the or watch the YouTube video on rebuilding a water pump. One of my
The key is just
one of
throw
my
the
nannies
plastic
did it.
one in the garbage and get a metal one.
One of my nannies did it.
Good for her.
She wasn't a car person. She just rebuilt her water pump based on that YouTube
Which
video.
one?
YouTube is the shit.
Not
good.
any
Not
of the
the hot
ones
one?
you're interested in, Zuckerman. You stay away from my babysitters and nannies, please. Here's a what do they write when you complain about stuff? First world problems? Is that the dumb comment you hear over and over? Just stop leaving that comment. Anyways, this guy needs some advice, and he's got some money, obviously. He's thanking us for the Porsche content. You're welcome. I'm a Philly doctor.
Ooh.
So he helps people.
Dr.
He helps people get
Cheesesteak.
better. Dr. Cheesesteak.
Hopefully you're at the UPenn Hospital. Shout out Quakers, maybe. I went to Penn.
And new Porsche fanatic. My 991 GTS. Well, that's an obvious first Porsche guy
nice
choice.
car.
And now with a 991 6MT.
Six
manual
manual
transmission.
Yeah.
Oh, 6 manual transmission GT3.
Ooh.
And a 991.2 TTS.
That's a lot. He went
Wow,
deep.
he's really well
He
rounded
really
out.
must be carving people up.
He seems to be buying a lot of the same. He's into all new stuff.
He's into
First of
all
all, get
911s.
some old stuff.
And also-
He's got a question here that I'm
Okay,
getting
what's the
to, but
question?
you've got a lot of beautiful new cars now. You should really be looking at
Back.
early 70s 911s and late 50s 356s.
In this guy,
all
you've
right?
been to Philly recently. It's a real tough town. Shitty weather, a lot of rain, snow, really bumpy, shitty roads.
If you-
Old cars do not fare
All right, well,
I
here-
would say that he goes 997 GT3 then. That's where he goes
with
as
nose
his next move.
No,
what-
I want him to
what's
buy
his-
something
what's
else.
his-
Anyway,
I agree
let's
with
get to
you,
his
Spike.
question,
His
because his
fucking
question is
question.
pretty good. Because it's a dilemma that we face with these new cars, especially the desirable rare cars, the over sticker conversation. I am looking for my next 911, and I am torn between a GT2 RS and a GT3 RS. The 2 RS, he's been quoted at 130,000 over sticker.
Over. Woo!
And not a
much.
buildable slot, but has the Visoc package. The GT3 RS is a build slot for 35,000 over. With your extensive Porsche knowledge, I don't have a lot actually. I just like the cars.
I can tell you what the
Which
current
is the
market-
best buy? Question. I plan to drive at 3,000 miles a year per year. Well, we're going to hold you to that, Alex. And thank you! Exclamation point. You're a doctor. You should know not to put that exclamation point in. All right, gentlemen. First of all, what?
130
130
over
over
is too much
sticker
for
for
anything.
the GT2 RS.
The current market in L.A., I'm hearing, is 100 over for a buildable slot, and for a GT3 is 20
Okay.
over.
And
That's
we're
what
a very expensive market,
Yeah,
right?
This is as
So there you go,
expensive a
Alex.
market
yes.
as exists in America.
Yes, exactly.
Now, I've seen one car for sale in Europe on Classic Driver, and by no means is this indicative of the market. But what was the number I told you about? It was 660,000 for a GT2 RS, brand new car.
That's just insane.
And that, by the
Stupid.
way, down from 758,
Right,
the car
but
I
that's
saw
if-
2 weeks
that's
ago.
the you got to have it now guy.
Yeah.
You're not going to wait for a few months or 6 months or even a year because they say they're going to build a lot of these GT2 RSs.
Well, look, they're starting to build Ford GTs again. They're taking new applications.
Yeah.
By the way, get your.
Let's get our applications.
You
out.
want to
Yes.
go in together?
Why not?
I'll go
Let's-
third with you guys.
By the way, I know
liked
someone. I know someone who has proximity to Tom Cruise, and at least Cruise's story is that he did not buy John Cena's Ford GT. He has one. It's not his.
I don't
what
believe
color
that.
was Cena's? What color
Blue,
was,
right?
It was
Yeah,
blue?
it was blue.
Okay. No, because
But this was a direct question, and he's and why would he ever admit that he bought John Cena's Ford GT? That's only trouble. But
if you guys
the
want to
new-
go thirds, I'll get down with you.
Yeah.
Really?
On a new GT.
So this is
I
a
drove
Plan
one.
Z?
Hell yeah. I would Plan Z a GT with you guys.
Can we
All
get
right, well, look.
financed through Ford Motor Company?
I
Can
don't
we?
know.
Yeah,
do they,
that's
they do.
of course.
the
and then
folks
we
at
can
Ford
write it off.
Ford wouldn't lease me a Focus RS. You think,
It's
I don't know if they're gonna.
well,
a
fucking-
different story.
Let's
call.
Let's
somebody.
not apply. Let's just say this right now into the microphone, Ford, because I do hear from their PR from this podcast occasionally, and I think that's probably why I wasn't given the Ford GT to drive like you were, Matt. Remember, they offered it to me for a second, and then we started talking about the lawsuit, and then suddenly I lost it. All right? And by the way, I never took sides with John Cena or anybody else. We were just talking about car news. So, Ford, We have a Plan Z proposition
Plan
for
Z
you.
proposition. Farah's in.
And we don't want to fill out your stupid application. And we're not.
Well, that's the end of that.
FFZ, Farah, Feresten, and Zuckerman.
We're gonna have to.
And we're not going to write your essay, but we all love this car. We all are prominent car people. We all have our own car thing happening and can provide brand worth for this vehicle. We will love it and care for it and show it to the world and share it to the world. Just get in contact with one of us and make this happen, and it's done. This is great. Plan Z.
And I just have to get back to the doctor, an unanswered question. Buy the
Yes.
GT3. Buy the GT3 RS. Dump one or two of your other 991s. Don't get the GT2 RS. You will not drive it 3,000 miles a year in Philly.
Yeah. Get a Macan with your savings.
And you should get rid of some of these other cars,
That's
right?
what
The
I'm saying.
GTS has to go. I mean,
Too much overlap.
You've
There's
got
a lot
way
of
too much
overlap
overlap.
happening
You're
there.
starting to look like a Porsche Patsy there, Alex.
Can I say,
Patsy.
in Philly, a safari car
You
would
like
be
that?
glorious in Philadelphia.
Patsy.
That's the way we say it in Massachusetts.
Yeah,
You're a
you're
patsy. You're a patsy. I like, this is a complete segue in Left Turn. I read that Nextdoor app all the time with all the stuff that's going on in my neighborhood, and then the number of old ladies who see somebody walk by their house and then in quotes write, "He was casing the joint." I saw it again last night. He was clearly casing the joint.
Casing.
And I'm like, really? Casing lady? Is that what you think he was doing? That was the mailman. That was walking and delivering mail. We are legitimately running out of time now, but let me get to a few more questions here. We got to the BMW stuff. It's so nice of you, by the way, for all of you to write all these questions in. I love it. It's filled up the show. And given us a whole show. We'll do this again for sure. Oh, here's your friend Alex, another Alex who wanted to know the best pizza topping.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Dumbbell.
I get the feeling he's just kidding. There's the classic, a lot in here. What do you buy? What kind of Porsche are you getting for $25,000 or less?
Not much.
Not much.
$25,000?
Yeah.
Not a
Is the
911.
944 worth racing? Is that a car worth setting up for racing?
In the cheaper racing series, I don't do a lot of Porsche Owners Club stuff or
They're
PCA
slow.
stuff.
I
They
can
are
tell you
slow.
that right now.
They're basically like Miatas that aren't Miatas. They have roughly the same power to weight as a Miata. They're a little more spacious inside than a Miata if you're kind of too big to race Miata, but they do okay in Lemons and Chump Car, but they're definitely
Chump car?
Yeah,
What is Chump car?
Chump Car. So Lemons is the actual joke series, right?
Right,
Where
yeah,
the cars
yeah.
have chicken heads
They're
on them and
great.
shit. Chump Car is cheap racing, same kind of thing, endurance racing, but the cars have to look more like real cars. They can have
Got it.
you can have a silly theme, you can be team 4 Idiots Racing or something, but if you're racing an E30, it can't have a shopping cart on the roof. It's got to look like an E30.
I
You
see.
know what I mean? So
What is tribute racing? What
every
do
car
you,
just says
Patsy
jizz all
racing.
over it.
what do you guys think about the value of used convertible 911s? Well, we just answered that question.
There,
Wow,
we
look at
covered
that.
There you go.
Yeah, if you could change one thing about Zuckerman, what would it be? Wow. That's a good question. If I could change one thing, I've already changed Zuckerman. I've made him a watch collector of fine watches and fine cars. I'm happy with who Zuckerman is. If you could describe Smoking Tire in 3 words, if you could see Smoking Tire today, by the way, what he's wearing,
Patches.
he's dressed like one of my kids, one of my 8-year-olds.
Dressed like I'm on
athletic
my way to
shorts,
physical therapy because I'm
and
broken.
a T-shirt. It'll be in the
Kinesio
picture.
tape.
You can look
Yeah.
up on Instagram.
I'm
It's charming in a
falling
way,
apart.
actually.
It's fucking radio, bro. what do I gotta look good for?
Matt, would you help me convince the both of them to borrow their GT3 Touring for a day? Who's the lazy smoker? Who's the lazy
Know
smoker?
that guy so
The
much.
lazy
He's
smoker?
in-
I don't think I
Oh.
know that person.
Well,
He's
Matt.
in L.A. He's got always a cigar. and a
Coincidentally,
picture.
Matt is borrowing our
We're not-
GT3
yeah, we're
Touring
doing,
next week, right?
Next week, I have the GT3 T, not the G. I'm sorry, the 911 Carrera T, the quote affordable.
Have you
rate.
driven that yet?
No, it's not. No, I haven't driven it yet. I get it for a week. It's a base Carrera that has some sport package options, and then it also has some lightweight options.
14 pounds.
and
One lunch.
and a different letter.
Yeah.
So the real question will be ultimately is do you get the T or do you get the S? But you guys have the
As comes before
GT3T,
T.
and I'm getting the 911T, and so we're gonna have a.
So what is this drive going to be?
We're gonna go drive. We're just
Oh,
gonna
I'm going to be in the seat with you?
No, not no. But you'll come up. We'll go up into the Angeles Forest with both cars.
Okay.
And you can drive mine, and I'll drive yours.
Oh, great.
And we'll go back and forth.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah,
No, that's gonna be great.
Yeah, because
Oh, wow.
I want your opinion.
Now
on
I finally have something
the other car
to look forward to this summer.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be great. Zuckerman should come. It's gonna be like
we don't
we're
want
gonna have
him
like an awesome drive up there. It'd be great.
Oh, that'll be good. We can go to Bill's.
Bills is Malibu. We're going to Angeles Forest.
Oh,
You can
Angeles
actually go
Crest.
drive.
I missed that
Yeah.
part of it. Oh, boy.
Newcomb's, yeah.
Yeah.
I just last week drove with the 718 Cayman GTS. Drove the entire length of Angeles Crest all the way to Wrightwood. I haven't done it in
Wow.
so long.
That's a nice
it
drive.
It was spectacular.
Lots of coppers, though.
No, not when I go. We'll
When
talk
do you
about
go?
that.
What does that mean?
Listen, this is not a radio
You know the
conversation.
coppers?
We talk after the thing. Yes, I do.
I like this.
Here's MCJC36. When do you know it's time to release a car from your collection back into the wild? I want to experience other vehicles on my bucket list, but the other ones that I've acquired I love too much. Worried that I'll turn a well-sorted one away and always wish for it back. Hashtag first world problems. Okay,
that's a real
first
problem.
piece of advice. Stop using that.
There's two.
I don't want to see bucket list anymore, and I don't want to see first world problems. No more cliches. That's
if
your
you're
first
into
bit
cars,
of advice.
right? Your collection will be defined by your finances and the amount of space you've got.
Right.
Oh,
And
I
I
like that.
Right?
That's a very
How
nice
much can you
breakdown.
afford, and how much room do you have
Yes.
to keep shit?
Oh,
And
the
second-
formula.
And secondly,
Dollars plus S space equals C.
We can figure
Yes.
out some crazy
Yes.
math
Oh.
problem for
there
this.
used to be now this goes back a while. When I was writing on Seinfeld and Jerry and I were looking for cars, there used to be this feeling that once you sold a car, it was gone forever. You would never find anything like it ever again. It was unrepeatable
like a love
was the
story.
word Jerry would use. It's unrepeatable, Spike! Well, guess what? We have the internet now, and you can repeat these things over and over again. I'm all about new experiences. I think... I used to have a 10-year rule. Now it's about a 10-month rule, about a year rule, 2 years. Once I've
if you
used the
don't
car,
drive
I've
it-
had fun. If I'm not driving it after a year, it's definitely on the chopping block, unless it's
Yeah.
special.
I'm limited by space. I mean, I'm obviously limited by
But-
finances, but I'm more limited by space.
But
right
it's
now.
not. But you shouldn't be afraid after you've had your fun with a car and you've experienced it. And
Yeah.
you've taken it on a trip. Maybe you've done a rally. You've had a lot of fun with your friends in the car. Go ahead,
Sell it.
Get something new.
I mean, unless it's something you love so much, where it's like, I want generations of Ferestens to have this.
Yeah,
car.
And there were
eventually-
very few forever cars.
Yeah, and by the way, there are no forever cars. You die. The only time I've seen the idiot try to keep the car is when they try to get buried in the car.
Occasionally, they'll get buried in the
Because-
car.
and it's a horrible, horrible thing to do. It's like, have your fun with this thing and then hand it off to the next guy. And no, this new thing you're getting is not going to be as well sorted. That's part of the deal.
Yeah.
You get the car, you sort it, you make it right, you enjoy it for a little while, and then you
die.
pass it on. Then get some new stuff, especially on a limited budget. We know we have friends. Talk about first world problems. If you don't have a lot of cars, you would never know the anxiety you get from having a lot of cars.
amount
And
of-
this is something we can't really complain about, but when you have 10, 20, 30 cars, you don't get to drive those things, and they go bad just sitting there, and they're
That is
horrible,
the
horrible
most frustrating
days.
thing in the world is to have a car go bad from sitting. That is
Garage
that is a
fever.
disaster.
It
It's
is.
so
I mean,
frustrating.
I-
That's
you
why
know-
I'm getting rid of my Mustang soon. Once it sits, I've driven that car twice in the last 8 months.
Bad.
But you
That's-
have to.
It's got to go. It's
I
gotta
think when you
go.
get to like Leno level, you have to find a way to kind of detach from those feelings and just, get in a rhythm. I think his operation, he's got so many people there, right?
Yeah.
And you can start up. Everything's constantly being worked on. I think is one way to alleviate that anxiety. But
And
most
he's
people
sort
aren't
of
going to.
more of the curator of a museum,
Right.
than really.
Right.
a
But
typical
when you
collector.
have. that sports closet you have with all the crap in it, the
Yeah.
rollerblades and the high-lie stick and it's kind of the feeling when you open up the
The lowest
closet.
form of gambling.
Right.
lower than dogs.
Right.
I know
And
someone
dog
who owns
racing.
a dog track /
Right.
highlight arena in
Right.
Florida.
But that feeling you get when you see that closet is the feeling you get when you have too many cars that you're not driving. So by all means, get something you're going to get in and drive.
I'm planning to
there you go.
turn 3 into 1.
Awesome.
Which I'm really excited about the idea of doing, because I don't use any of the 3, and I would definitely use the 1 that I would trade it for.
Yeah, I know.
Zuckerman's
We
gotta
all
go.
got to get going. I've got
Let him
meetings
go.
to go to.
You and I can finish it up. Let him go. He's
No,
fine.
it's time.
Is
It's
it- oh, we're
time.
a
We're
team?
gonna ride it out.
We're a team here.
We are a team. There's a lot of there are a lot more questions here, guys. I'll try to answer what I can on there. Zuckerman, you'll go on to my Instagram site, answer a few questions. Matt will as well.
I will not.
We'll answer the pizza question.
This was
again.
a lot of fun. You know, we broke a little Porsche news last week with that Speedster information. I've heard
new
You
Speedster?
broke the news.
I broke
wasn't-
the news. That's right. I wanted you to come in for it. That there were going to be 1,948 of them made, and the concept car was going to be exactly.
They're not all going to have that stupid color scheme, though, are they?
Yeah.
No, they're not.
Yeah.
Really? Why would
Yes.
you do that? That's awful. You can't just paint it fucking red or black or something. It's
You
gotta
don't
have
like that-
stupid.
Front. No, it's modeled after a '58 Speedster.
It looks dumb. It looks like it's modeled after.
I don't
Magnus
like
Walker's
it.
car.
I don't like it.
It looks stupid.
The metallic to the non-metallic. That's what I don't
that
like.
it's 2 different fucking colors. You
I like
can't just
that.
get PTS white is going to be worth $20 million in.
Well, I would guess if
very
I
quickly.
think
Now,
if
you-
you're doing 1948, you can probably they will have more than one option. That's
right.
my thought.
Oh no, they're going to do different colors, but I'm
But they're
saying
not all
that's
going to be 2 colors, right? You can get one in just a
course.
regular color.
if they're going to make that many, most likely you can probably do whatever you want with it.
Green.
green, right?
Yeah.
Is that what you would do with
like
Speedster?
British
I would
racing
love
green
an
or
Irish green, yeah.
Yeah.
I think the car should retain the meatball no matter what.
Food.
No, that racing circle on the side.
I know.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I think that's what makes the car special no matter what you do with this car.
I like meatballs.
If you make it normal, then I don't know. It kind of ruins what's special about the car. I would do the deviating color on the front. I would totally
You
do
can
that.
order yours that way, but
Two-tone green.
Yuck.
Well,
Like a
it's
79 Eldorado.
Can I get mine green on khaki? You know, with a.
I would make it just like the '58
A
Speedster.
Landau roof?
It make it look just like that '58 Speedster they modeled it after. I think the red and the white looks really cool, and the car would look really special.
It'll be cool. It's
That's
gonna have
my
a
2
GT3
cents.
motor, right?
Yeah.
Finally, is that the first time a Speedster has an actual different
Yeah.
non-Carrera
The last
engine?
one was a little slow.
They're all slow, right? They're all just Carreras, aren't they?
Not anymore.
No, up until
Up until
now,
now. Yeah.
they've
that's
all
right.
just been
Little slow
Carreras
and heavy.
with chopped
Styling
roof and tonneau.
exercise.
That's what makes this car
I mean,
very
I'm a
special.
fan. Every time I see a Speedster, I'm kind of excited about it. They're fucking cool.
Now, what I will say,
Really
though,
nice.
Zuckerman, now, you and I have many sources on it. Everybody assumed this was coming from Seinfeld. It was not. It was not coming from Seinfeld. But we had information coming in on another car for Rennsport that there's been no confirmation other than this show. And we're going to test our sources at this point.
Let me
That
guess.
There was
Here's a guess. It's going to be a Boxster-based
No.
RSK.
Nope,
No.
you're wrong.
No?
Slant
Not
nose.
even close.
Oh, slant nose?
Yeah.
Yes, there was a brand new slant nose
And
911.
it's been 40. It's been 40 some odd years. No, 30. Let's see. 94 was the last flat nose.
What was the first? Because you'd want to coincide it with something, right? So it's not. No, you don't do
Okay.
the 24th anniversary. What would you? When was the first year? 80.
81 was really the first special wishes year where a customer could buy one.
What
No.
about 78? Could you do it in
No.
79?
So let's
No?
test this rumor then. Why would you release this at Rennsport Reunion, which is a racing event? You know, why wouldn't you put the Speedster there, the GT3 engine Speedster at
Okay,
Rennsport?
so what was
and
the first year of a 935? Because the slant noses were based on 935, but we're getting too arcane, I think. Yeah.
Seven, 8.
So it's that's too arcane of a connection.
I don't know.
Well, they have a history of releasing a special version of a 911 at Rennsport Reunion. They've done that before. Remember they had that PCA
Right.
colored blue. Yeah, and it
mean,
was
is
mostly
there
an
ever-
appearance package. It
Yeah.
wasn't anything really all that special about the car. So this,
It was a con job.
so that's
it's
what
not a
this-
con
that's what
job,
this
but
would be.
You're
This would be
paying
a
extra
cash
money
grab.
for the
but
same
that's a
for
different
nothing.
body, right? Is that a
It'd be
con job? I mean,
Steve
No, that
McQueen
would be
edition.
different.
that would be different. You'd have to put in a
thing-
bigger engine in
The
it.
PCA thing was what? What did you get? A color?
There's
Yeah.
no.
It was
They'd
color.
have to rehomologate a car. You know what I mean? If you change the engine, you change the body.
The 935 was 1976
Okay, so we're off. But
to 81. Norbert Singer designed.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
So I would guess they'll put a Turbo S motor in it, right? Some of the Turbo S exclusive crap and a slant nose on it and call it a car. And then you can buy it, and you're going to be able to buy this thing if you're a PCA member. I bet this is a PCA-only car. These are all just guesses.
Well, I guess I'm not qualified then.
You're not a member of the Porsche Club of America?
I hope you're not either.
I am, because I pronounce the name of the company properly, and you don't.
Brabus.
That's probably why they don't let you
Brabus. Did you please pronounce
in. He
Brabus.
says Porsche. This guy still says Porsche.
You know what? When you own that many of them, say whatever the fuck
I
you
don't
want.
speak like a German. House. I don't.
You're a little sensitive to that, aren't you,
Yes, I am.
Mr. Zuckerman?
Yes.
There are
I
people
don't
who
like to be
care,
told
and then there's
what to
me.
do.
By Germans?
Yes.
Nobody does.
Fair.
Yes.
Totally fair.
Yes.
Well, gentlemen,
It's just like you don't trust South Africans that left South Africa. In
now hold
94.
on.
Right.
We never even got to Elon Musk and that
We don't have
craziness,
to.
but he did apologize today for calling the
guy
nice
a pedo.
rescuer in Thailand a pedo.
You got $1 billion+ and you're having a squabble.
He
like you're at the
apologized.
corner bar stool.
Yeah.
You pedo.
You're right. He's the guy who's always saying, I take my meetings in 5-minute spurts, and if there's someone who's not supposed to be in the meeting, I ask him to leave.
Yeah.
If he's got nothing to say, I use my time so effectively. But
I'm
I have time to get on Twitter and attack the Taiwanese.
do-gooder.
The do-gooder.
A do-gooder.
Right.
Mother
Who
Teresa.
called me on my bullshit project to try to
Jesus,
rescue
guy.
everybody.
And maybe he's macro dosing. Mr.
Oh,
Farah,
I
have you
wouldn't
thought
be
of that?
surprised. Macro,
He did-
possibly.
Yeah.
It's all drugs. It's all drugs. Anyway, we've had some fun here today, guys.
I mean, I was on drugs, so, you know.
You've got physical therapy to get to.
Yeah.
What's going on with you? Go ahead and plug whatever you're plugging.
Usual shit, smokingtire.com, The Smoking Tire, all the social media, The Smoking Tire Podcast. If you're into watches, the Watch and Listen Podcast with me and Cameron Weiss. It's available where you get podcasts and also on YouTube. And if you're in Los Angeles and you have cars, and maybe you're not quite as baller as Zuckerman, but you still need somewhere to keep those cars, I'm opening the West Side Collector Car Storage Center in West
Known as
L.A.,
Haggerty Stadium.
possibly known as Haggerty Stadium. We'll see. Right now, it's a hole in the ground, but it's a good-looking hole in the ground. Email me, matt@thesmokingtire.com, if you want to get on the list.
And Zuckerman, what are you promoting, Zuckerman?
Car accidents. If you've been injured, you or a loved one, call Zuckerman at Carpenter Zuckerman and Raleigh. We will take care of you and get you some money.
The money.
Get the
we
money.
want
You too can have a
The
slant-nosed
money.
turbo if someone hits you in a mail truck.
Very good, Zuckerman.
And go to PB, Pebble Beach, pbclassiccarforum.com, and get your tickets to Spike's Car Radio with very special guest Michael Strahan, August 25th, Saturday, 1:30. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you next week on Spike's Car Radio. Real quick before we go, here's some useful car tips you might not be aware of. A coffee filter and a little bit of olive oil can clean your interior. Removing excess weight from your car will improve gas mileage, and you can place your key fob to your chin to increase its range. That's pretty weird, right? Well, here's another tip you also might not know about. TrueCar also helps people get used cars. That's right. TrueCar isn't just for buying new cars. With their certified dealer network and nationwide inventory of nearly 1 million used cars, you'll enjoy real pricing on actual inventory and a simpler buying experience, whether you buy new or used. And with TrueCar, users can see what others paid so they know if they're getting a good deal before they're buying. They're also more likely to enjoy a faster buying experience by connecting with TrueCar certified dealers. When you're ready to buy a new or used car, check out TrueCar and enjoy a more confident car buying experience. Some features not available in all states.
Thanks for listening to Spike's Car Radio. Download new episodes every Wednesday on the Podcast One app or subscribe now at Apple Podcasts or PodcastOne.com.
You love podcasts, the stories, the laughs, the unexpected turns. But when this episode ends, the silence starts. Not anymore. Audiobooks.com turns that silence into your next great adventure. With over 450,000 titles, from bestsellers to hidden gems, your love for listening just found its new best friend. And because you already know the joy of audio, we're giving you 3 free audiobooks to start your journey. Imagine your favorite podcast, now with unlimited episodes. That's audiobooks.com. Keep the story going. Sign up for your free trial at audiobooks.com/podcastfree today. Because for podcast lovers like you, the end of an episode is just the beginning. That's audiobooks.com/podcastfree.